All right, welcome back to Never Famous, where we dive deep into the latest trends, controversies, and under the radar happiness. Please make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Audi. That's Vinny. Behind the lens is Ro producing, and we got some special guests today. These two special. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been here for a little minute holding us down. We got the two Potter of the years. I watched the pot. Hold on, they got the what's the proper word? Because I don't want to mess up the algorithm early. It's that C word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the next one after Potter. No. The next one after Potter of the year. What's that? What's
Coochie?
They got the Coochie of the Year award. Which I don't know how both of y'all got that. That's crazy because it should only be one. But whatever.
Ask these niggas.
Yeah.
Ask them.
The very entertaining.
We get great reviews.
Yo,
you want the yell? My bad.
The pussy yelp is hilarious. Oh my god.
My bad.
The very entertaining. I'm gonna get this right. Kayla.
Yeah.
Camry.
Yes.
Heauxsome Black Girl Podcast. We Never Famous. Please make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. We back for another one. How's everybody feeling?
We are great. We are good.
Let me get a little room check. I want to take the temperature in here real quick. Everybody feeling?
I'm chilling. I'm feeling nice right now.
Now it got quiet. That's what it is.
That's when the cameras is on.
Yeah. This is what I be trying to tell you. It's different when pre-mic, off camera, and when the mic come on. Everybody shit got lower. And you see how my voice got higher? You see the difference? Tell me y'all.
I'm a little on y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
This one you gotta pop your shit.
Kimmy, I'm not gonna stop looking at you until
Hence
you drink
the water. Hence
the water. Kimmy. I am doing great. I'm doing fine. Kimmy, if you don't take more than one sip. Thank you.
That's a good friend, though. That's a good friend. See?
That's why I compared you to her.
True. The fact that she gave it a side. Here, drink some water, girl. Drink some water.
When she said that, I'm doing good. I said, oh, yep.
She said, which camera? She said, which camera am I looking at? That one?
That shit was crazy. The point was crazy. That shit was crazy. That shit was with bad sauce.
Yeah.
That's when she hit it with the water. Like, nah, you need this.
Yeah.
I just love my friend.
I just want to ask you a couple just little rapid fire questions before we get into the pod. Make sure to follow them. I'm gonna put their Instagram, their pod Instagram. Y'all want me to put your personal Instagrams on?
We can. We'll just give it to you after. That's cool.
I'll
That's
put the personal descriptions on.
Please don't DM me.
Instagram. All right, so let me just a quick rapid fire. Is dating apps a red flag?
Yes.
Ooh, I got a question. Why is that a red flag?
Because if you're really fine, you don't need it. I never used
What did I say?
I never used a dating app ever in my life.
For real.
No, for women it's different. What I said for women don't like the super fun. Like it's a certain level of women, respectfully, don't really need that.
Right.
No, it's true.
It's true.
That's true.
It's true.
Not all of them, because everybody is not 100% in everything. But
women in general don't need dating apps.
But now,
for real.
what I will say is that I got a couple people like that end up following me on Instagram and saying that they see me on like DLK, and I'm like, that's not me.
What?
Was using it.
So they using you for catfish?
They get a bag.
Oh nah.
I will say I was on a dating app one time just for fun though. Just
Which
to
one?
play
Which
on
one?
the niggas Hinge.
Hinge?
And the men are very
Unhinged on that.
That's why they call it Hinge, baby.
It's like, yeah, I was on the edge of like one day.
Yeah, but women in general don't need dating apps. To be
No.
honest.
Especially if you fine. Like,
I think that men that are fine don't need dating apps either.
They don't.
Let me go ahead and delete my ass real fast. Hold on. Say nah.
Nah, I don't think that's true.
That's not funny.
I think it's
That's
just different.
funny.
It's just a level. That's great. Don't laugh that hard, bro. Don't laugh that hard at my man.
My
That's
bad.
crazy.
My bad.
She like, first of all, you not that fine. Don't even do
you
this.
are very handsome.
You actually are very handsome.
Oh, thank
I don't
you.
understand why you got it. That's why I was kind of confused.
Right now. Why do you have that
Cause he don't be out.
Nothing wrong
Man,
with that.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. He
He
about to bullshit. He ain't gonna give you a shit. And the answer that he don't be outside like that. He don't be.
That
in
was
the
the
mix.
answer.
How y'all be in the mix? Not like that. But you know how you saying y'all be outside. He don't be outside like that.
I was about to give the same answer.
No, 'cause you be capping.
I was gonna say the same. Yeah, I really don't be outside. I used to be outside, but
Uh-huh.
not anymore.
So you're
single.
Yes.
Why are you single?
I'm
What's wrong
single
with you?
because I made the wrong choices in women.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah, for you.
That I have to make better choices in who I allow in my life.
So no, what I'm saying is like, what are the wrong choices for you? Because something that might be a red flag for you might be a green flag for somebody else.
right.
I could definitely say, I have allowed people in my life that definitely didn't deserve to be in there. You know, that a lot of red flags, a lot of what's the word I want to use? Not being equally yoked,
Ah,
and
you love a good Christian man.
But yeah, there's been a lot of times where I've given too much grace and lacked the respect of my own boundaries in the past.
Oh, I felt that.
Wow,
In the
2023
past.
was really hell for me because of that.
Yeah, in the past. Now it's different, but in the past, yeah, that was my issue.
Okay.
And then dating in this day and age is fucking terrible. It's terrible. It's trash.
I think it depends what you want.
Nah.
Trash. It depends what you want.
You know how they say there's plenty of fish in the sea?
Ain't none.
Nah, there's piss in that sea. There's piss in that. Well, it's trash because social media, a bunch of stuff has ruined dating. And my kind of love is like back in the day love. Like it's like that old school love. It's like that kind of love that don't really.
And our grandfather used to be cheating on our grand.
Not that kind of. Nah, not that.
Cheating
Not
is
that.
non-negotiable for me.
Bro, there's whatever you want, you can find out there. If you want hoes, if you want to
You could definitely find hoes for sure. But
there's
can you
more- I
find
feel like
something
there's a little bit more
real?
hoes than everything else, but
So you're looking for a more traditional partner, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So traditional in what sense? Because like, I know that some men
Technically
are
traditional,
like.
yeah.
Some men are like traditional as in like, I'm the breadwinner. You can choose to work. You don't have to, but
In a scenario like that, for me, it depends on the situation. I would prefer, like, for example, if I have a significant other, we have kids and whatnot, I prefer for her to stay home with the kids. I don't do the whole daycare. I don't trust it nowadays. I would prefer to keep my wife home, taking care of the kids, taking care of the family.
that's a man. 'Cause-
But
sit me down, please.
But for me, it depends on the situation. Now, my goal is to get to that, right? But, you know, if I could have a woman that's okay with, like, all right, we're not there yet. I can help you in this area and whatnot.
Until things kind
You
of
know,
get
just
off the
a partnership. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But the goal is to keep you home, taking care of things. Now, if you want to work, I'm not going to stop you from working. If you really want to work, that's what you want to do, by all means. I'm not, what's the word? I'm not that kind of guy where like, oh, you're a woman.
misogynist.
So you need to not.
Well, misogynists, they hate women. I don't really like that word, but I'm not the type of person that like, oh, you're a woman. You need to be home. You need to be doing,
So yeah,
no.
misogynist is the correct.
I read a little bit,
I don't think that's the correct word because misogynists,
but that's
for
what
the
you
term,
say. That's what you say you aren't.
they hate women.
That's
But
what
you
you say you
aren't.
aren't.
Yeah, you're not
Right.
that.
Exactly.
But
So what you're describing is
But if my significant other would like to work, I'm not gonna be the one to be
Opposed
like,
to it.
nah, you need to stay home. You need to clean and cook
Cook
and blah
and
blah
make
blah.
sure.
Nah, like we a team, we a partnership. Like
yeah.
he's laughing.
Yeah, so we have very sex positive podcast, and I know y'all say y'all can find hoes anywhere. So what is a hoe to y'all? I'm just curious. I like to ask them this. They always have different responses.
Yeah, they do.
Audi, go ahead, go first. Ask your question. You go.
What's up, ho? I think it's the way you carry yourself.
Okay. What does that
Ooh, there we
mean?
go.
What does that entail?
Yeah.
If you just I'm trying to give you like a good example. Like if you like if all right, if you my girl and you like for the street, like you still doing you or it's like all right, like I don't know, there gotta be like a.
For me, is if you lack value, if you lack self-value, if you lack morals, if you lack self-respect and also respect for your significant
I
other.
don't think none of that has to do with being a hoe. I feel like if it's 365 days in a year and you caught like 100 bodies,
And stop.
think
I was
that's a
getting
little
there
crazy.
though. I
If
was
you caught
getting there.
like 100 in a year, or you like, I think that's a lot more than a little
Well,
crazy.
okay,
I'm
But
gonna keep it being.
that falls into the category though. That
Yeah.
fall like all the things that I said. That falls into that.
I think it's level. I'm gonna be like 100% honest. There's like I'm gonna be like 80% honest, but it's like
He said 80%.
yeah. If you caught 40 in a year, I think you're a hoe.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna agree with you on
real
that.
number under that, I'm not gonna say, but
So
That's
do you
my-
hold that standard for women only, or do you hold that for men as well?
Ooh, that's a really good
Do
question.
you hold your friends accountable when they aren't
why I gotta hold them accountable?
protective?
Wait. Why I gotta hold them accountable?
Because you're their friend. Because to be honest,
Who
if
said I don't
you're
fuck with hoes? wait. Because it depends what you asking me. I never said I don't like hoes. Now I don't want a hoe to meet my family.
Okay.
well, what does
There's
your
two different
family have to
things.
do with a hoe?
She's not me and my family. I could still fuck with her. That's exactly what I'm saying. I could still fuck with her. She's just not me and my family.
So with a woman that's just basically done with her whole phase, like you're done, or do you
There's
don't
no
want them
such
to
thing.
have a whole phase at all?
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as what?
If you had a whole face, you're a hoe.
You're a hoe
I
forever.
don't agree with that.
Forever.
I don't agree with
Yes.
that.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
The whole
yes.
could get deleted.
Yes,
y'all.
I am
The
going to
whole
go
list
there.
could get deleted, especially because these niggas don't be making us come.
If you get a BBL, nah. That's cap. That's cap. I still fuck. Not you. If you know what I'm saying, if you ain't come, I still fuck. That don't got nothing to do with me.
Right.
I'm
That's
gonna
a
be
you
honest.
problem. That's a you
That
problem.
might be
You
me.
ain't come.
I still hit. I don't. The only shit that change if you have a kid or you got a BBL, you're
Now,
not
I'ma
gonna
say-
act like every man. Even if you had a boyfriend, when I said, because even if you had a boyfriend, every single time you had sex with your boyfriend, you're not gonna tell me you came 100. There's no man you ever came 100% of the time
Nah,
with.
you're missing
unless
something.
Hold
You're
on,
missing
unless
something.
you ever fuck like under like if it's a small number of times, like 5 or 10 times, like a small number, that's one thing. But if you go, you fucked them for a long amount of time.
You miss the most important part.
Right now, every time we fuck.
This is the way women do the math, so that they don't have to count every body.
Yeah, but
That's what I mean.
But you also got to take into account not all women know themselves well enough
That
to
is
where
true.
they can do that, and then they blame it on the man, but it really is not the man.
Okay.
You don't agree?
she
Yo,
about to cut. She about to
I
cut
was
down.
nah for real. I actually had somebody admit this to me recently that they didn't really know themselves well enough to where they really knew what works for them. Exactly.
Okay. So I will say okay.
She said, eh.
But let's be honest here. Comprehensive sex ed has never been a thing for majority of the world. And also women's bodies were never prioritized in the scope of sex. From literally the beginning of time, women's bodies were seen as breeding factories. So it's never about whether or not the woman is really getting pleased. It's all about whether or not the woman can have the baby.
You see, that's crazy to me because I really care for pleasing my woman, so I've never seen it like that. Like
That's
how
an
you just said.
individualistic approach to this.
No,
Right,
no, no,
right,
no, no,
right.
no, no. That's not no individualistic shit. Cause I feel the same way as him. But there's a reason why that man that made you come every time isn't your man. There's a reason.
Oh,
Now,
I like that.
and I'm not you per se, but I'm using you as an example. I might not make you come every time, but I might be a significantly better man for you long term. If that's what you want in life, I may be a way better man
Wait a
than
minute,
that man
Kimmy,
is for
what
you.
you talking about? Harlem
So it's
Nights?
like what you want in life.
I'm talking about Harlem Nights.
That's the
This-
nickname.
this-
That's the
this-
nickname.
that cold shit.
the nickname.
Yeah, dudes don't got that shit.
Yo, we need to work
There
on
is a
that.
real reason. Well, y'all actually got hip to the real name. Y'all probably wasn't even paying attention to who we was really talking about. But we said his real name
Yeah,
in
we
front
don't
of
know
y'all.
motherfucker.
Well,
care
we
about
still don't.
people. I
Whether you
care
say
about
his real
nobody
name or
I
not, we still don't know
about.
him. Like,
But hold on, let's.
And Trap too.
But all right, so why? So why?
Tribe didn't do
you
it
not
every
why,
time.
but
Yes, he did.
Not every time.
Every single time.
Clear.
Wait, not the first.
how she know more than you?
First time, huh?
How she know more than you, and you don't want to experience in this?
I don't even work now. Better than I know myself. For real.
apparently, right?
It seems like it.
Because I always I keep track of conversations because Camry be forgetting. And I be like, wait,
A lot of things.
And when she has a good experience with people, she like remembers the good experience and not the
course.
17,000 shitty experiences that were happening way before then.
They override the
So-
bad experiences. Yeah, I know exactly
So
what you mean.
because I need her to stay grounded and on planet Earth, I gotta keep track of the other things that are happening so that when she try to make it seem like it's one way, I'm like,
Don't you get caught up in that. Don't you get caught up. Remember this.
Hold on, all right, let's go to the next topic though, because we've been going on this for a minute. Because I do have a question. So when both of y'all go out, right, and y'all see a guy that both of y'all like, how do y'all decipher who the one that bagged him?
whoever come to the person.
What?
What you mean whoever come to, like
No,
whoever that person
if
comes
both of
to?
y'all like the same man. If y'all was both out and y'all seen bro at the bar and y'all both was like, yo, he fine as fuck.
No,
Pause.
this
and then
actually
y'all
happened. So it was one time.
They flipped the coin.
No. Nah. So we recorded, and there was somebody. There was somebody there, and I was late because I was coming straight from work. So she said, "Yo," and I was like, "For real?" And I wanted her to sneak a picture because that's what we be doing. But of course she didn't do that shit, and like, so I'm like, let me get in there and let me see.
you agreed.
Shout out to 3 Pac. All right. So
She shooting her shot on our pod. That's hilarious.
That's
no,
crazy.
it's not like no. He shot his shot at me on some real shit. So like, I came in. I'm like, "Hi everybody." I texted her like, "He is fine as shit." Golly. So we finished the episode. We do whatever the fuck we was doing, and like, he ended up texting me like a day later or something like that. Like, "Thanks for having us. Blah blah blah. I want to take you out." That's how we usually.
Are the same people be DMing us? We be talking.
Yeah.
They did
See,
both
but
of y'all?
hold
Oh
on.
fuck yeah.
No, you see, I
That's wild.
Like I'm
They be
wild. I'll shoot my
troubleshooting.
shot, but not like that.
They be
Like,
trying
not
to
with y'all, but,
troubleshoot
like, I'm
to
just
see
saying, like,
who going like.
But-
go
but-
But y'all
play.
obviously gonna talk. Y'all on the same pod together. I think that people don't understand how much y'all really talk. Like I probably talk almost at everyday basis. Like we
Yeah.
talk almost every single day.
So, but that,
But she
that
told me
scenario.
that she knew that he was going. Like for some reason, she had a feeling like he was going to come to me.
Come to you?
And the same thing with me. Like if
He asked
somebody,
about her? He asked about her.
no, it's just when we was filming. Like I'm
oh, he feeling her.
like
You sense the energy.
to be honest. Like after we finished, like we could show you like some of the footage of that episode. Like you could see like his eyes were always diverted to me. Like I didn't notice it at first, but like when I watched it back, I was like, he was staring at me. Like I mean, like piercing through me.
Yeah.
So she peeped that shit. Cause she not in that line of fire, so she can see that
Yeah,
shit.
I peeped it. I'm like, oh, step back.
So, but that's a different scenario. So, like, all right. So let me put this scenario.
Like if you're at the bar.
If you're at a bar, if you're at a club, y'all see one guy, fine. Y'all both like him. How y'all gonna go about this scenario?
If we get around the nigga, cause like I'm not gonna lie, they do it, and it's
Y'all-
like,
I thought you said y'all was aggressive and y'all try to bag dudes.
yeah, if I want you, I want you. Or like if we say something, like if she say something first, that's your bag. Go ahead,
Right.
go get that.
That's usually how it goes.
Whoever says something first.
Nah. But I really want to know if y'all both see somebody fine as hell. This guy didn't approach either of y'all.
If if the person said,
Do y'all
if
like
one
do
per-
like a rock paper scissors shoot kind of
No,
thing,
if
or
we both find the person by the
we just gonna say, oh damn, he fine. And like if we cross paths with the nigga, whoever shoot, like if someone shoot and they shoot at the both of us, whoever like take that lead, like that lead in first, that's whoever get it. Cause it's like niggas come dime a dozen and we get dollars, baby.
all right? So has there ever been an experience where you're like, damn it, like I wanted to say
Alright,
something.
So let me do this.
There
Actually.
was
Let me-
one experience, but it wasn't. It was with Synthetica. Oh, it's oh no. You're right. I forgot. There was only one experience.
What was that like? Let us know. Let us know. See, this is what I want to know. This right here.
All right, so this person like Cam and I are no longer cool with. We're no longer friends with. It was actually when we filmed the pilot episode, right? Nick fine as hell. I mean, like we all sat there and said,
I was texting Kelly like, "You're."
I came in and I said, And to be honest, everybody and their mom knew he was feeling me.
Yeah.
He was feeling me. Cause I was sitting near his stuff. He like caressed my leg and was like, can I sit my stuff over here? Like, are you cool? And I was like, you know, you could do a lot more than that. You could do a lot more, but whatever you're asking, fine. The girl saw it. We all knew the nigga was fine. And she was like, we filmed the episode, whatever. She was telling the corniest jokes ever in the world. He was not even laughing. Ugh. And like after the episode, like he came up with his own camera, like he was like doing like a behind the scene documentary, whatever. So he was asking me all these questions. She like bumped in the camera, was like, "Oh my God, like it was so great." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." But afterwards, she was like, "Let me get your number, blah, blah, blah." I said, like you knew the play. You saw him. He was looking at me the entire time. Now that's something I actually noticed. You can't not notice some shit like that. Right. So I was like, yeah, you're a fucking dumbass bitch, Kayla, for not even stepping in and intervening, because, bitch, he ain't give a fuck about your ugly ass.
Yeah, but as for like between us, like it's never been like a time where we're like, oh damn, like I wanted to shoot at him first. Like
it's whoever get the energy.
And so everybody, I'm like, y'all might be like the 6th or 7th set of women that are asked that too. It can't not one woman give me an answer to that. That's like some man shit.
I guess like women just really must not go through that.
No,
They
no,
don't.
really
They
don't.
don't.
Like,
They really don't.
We
We
the
the ones that
gotta
gotta do the pursuing. They just
no, we
They
be
just
pursuing
there.
niggas. We definitely do be pursuing niggas, but it's like, who?
I think the pursuit is different though. The way that we pursue people
yeah.
is not the way that women pursue people. I think that's what
women pursue people
men.
by like giving them a look and whatnot.
I don't think that y'all are going up straight up to a dude like and just talking whatever, like putting game right on him.
She said they must not know us.
And there's women in DM, so I ain't gonna say that. But I don't think y'all going up to dudes applying pressure type shit.
It's not as common though. It's not as common.
And that's what set me and Cam apart though. I'm not even gonna hold you. That's what set me and Cam apart, because like we dead be like, oh, that nigga fine as shit. And like it's like, oh, go at him. And if I see you, like when I see you, I'm like, no, you really fine.
I really be telling them, like I go up to them like,
You really fine. You are really handsome.
Yo, man, easy as fuck. That's a problem. We like a lot of us easy as fuck.
Men are easy.
I don't know.
Now, here, let me go jump in actually and start like, because that's actually topic number 1. Because I think women and men gauge things differently. And the first question I had is, are women actually happy with modern dating and relationships in today's day?
No,
Like,
we not.
You know?
I feel like
What? Let me ask you, what's your expectation of men? So today y'all aren't happy about.
what was the question?
And what do you all expect of?
Consideration.
Actually being fucking interesting. Like that's the bare minimum. Like these men do not be interested for real. Like they be fine as hell, but then you get to know them and it's just like
Lack substance.
Yes, I'm just like,
Yeah.
But for me, it's consideration. Like niggas can have good conversation, but in my experience, and especially in this last year, is that they don't consider women like at all, or like people. Like I've dealt with a lot of selfish men, and like extreme selfishness. Not even like I'm trying to self-preserve, but like, nah, you're really just a user, or you're really just a asshole. And also, like, there's an immense amount of jealousy, especially if you're young and you're smart. Like, when you have a brain and it functions, I've noticed that there's a lot of men that resent you for that. Like,
That's really crazy to me because
I've been put through hell. Yeah, like, I've been put through hell by men who, they get to know me. They see me on social media and they're like, "Oh, she's super bad." Like, all right, cool. I'm pretty. You get to know me, and I have a wide range of topics I can talk about. I have so much knowledge. I do all these things. I have all these things, and I'm not even flexing it because you ask me and I'm gonna tell you.
you're
So let
showing
me
it
ask you this real quick.
organically.
Right.
Let me ask you this. So you're saying in short, it sounds like men are shallow.
They are very shallow.
And if they are, why do they get so deep with you?
I think that, at least in my experience, like for the past year or so, I think that the deepness comes, especially like with the men that I've been handling or like dealing with. I'm a good image for the people around them. I I noticed that I make them look bigger, because it's like I noticed, uh-huh, and even but even like in their personal lives, like their friends or their family, that they like talk about the things that I've accomplished and the things that I've done, and then they mention my age because I'm young. The people be like, "Oh, you got a good one."
All right. So now, because this is interesting. So this is where I start to dig a little deeper. So if that's the case, how long does it take you for you to identify that they're shallow? And if so, why do you continue to be around them?
Almost instantly. Almost instantly for me. But then, like, the naivete in me is like, maybe
It's a naivete, or you're just ignoring the red flags?
I'll say it's a mixture of both. At first it's naivete, but then I do ignore, because I'm just like, okay, so everyone has a chance to like change and evolve, and I'm just
So you think you can change them?
hoping. I don't even want to change them. I'm just hoping that change comes
Organically.
organically
You're
with,
trying to give them grace at this
yeah,
point a
like,
little bit.
I try to like extend an olive branch. Like, maybe things will shift if like we continue to
So
like.
if that's the case,
Felt that.
and you
felt that.
Bugging.
hold on, so I'm gonna go in.
All three of y'all
I'm gonna
bugging.
go in
Am I-
right now because I'm gonna follow up right on what you're saying. So if that's the case, why give them so much leeway? Like, to me, you're just wasting your time and wasting your youth and people that cannot be around. And now you're complaining about them.
I would be very raw and very vulnerable. Sometimes it really is just a lack of self-confidence.
Yeah,
Like, I just want you around right now because I want to feel desired. Like, I just want to feel.
it's not even about desirability for me. It's like, it's a sense of comfortability. Like, for me, it's just like, okay, well, I done got this far. Kind of.
So then
set
why
here.
complain about the men, since technically they are accomplishing what you needed them to accomplish in that moment? For you, it might have been feeling desire. They're making you feel desire. And for you, they're making you feel comfortable, which is something you wanted. So they're actually meeting the expectations that you're setting for them.
They're meeting one expectation, but there's an ability to have more than one expectation.
No, I understand that. I don't disregard
So
that.
for real, it's just like, and then also I will say, especially for us being Black women, our community tells us to settle for, if I can't have all of the things, settle for one okay good thing. Yeah, like, it's always been
Done, but it's like something that's in the back of your head. Or
like, because I can't lie, we've all been told, like, all right, you can't get everything. And it's like, I can't even get 2-3 things on the list.
How
Nah,
many
you
things
can't.
you got on your list?
Hold up, no, but that also might be the wrong person though too. Because if you got to think about it, I'm like, because nobody's perfect, so you might find somebody that they might check off 3, 4, 5 of. It depends how long your list is. Because if your list is 50 things on your list and he checks off 12, that might not be enough for you. But my list is only 6 things, and somebody might check off 5, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm okay with giving up the 6th thing because I'm just.
There's 10-ish things, and like from what I've experienced, I only got one thing.
So,
you-
and you see, so this is the type of stuff, and I like having this conversation with women. Is it the men's fault at that point, or is it on? Because I'll tell you the truth, men will do whatever women say the requirements are to get into your pants. Like that's the goal. So if you say the requirements is this one thing, and I'm in, they're gonna give you that one thing. They're not gonna go to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th thing because they don't need it. They already got where they need to go. So. Is it really the men's fault, or are they just playing the games based on the rules that women are portraying and putting out there?
I think that it's a mixture of both. I think that I hold myself accountable more than ever now because it's just like, all right, Kayla, you allowed a person to come into your space knowing from the jump, like, knowing from the very beginning, like the first couple of weeks, like this person was basura.
Ooh, she hit me with the Spanish. Oh, yes, let's go.
But yeah, like literally, I knew, but it's just like it's also about proving because there's a lot of messaging and the Black community about how Black women are not desirable, not easy to love, not easy to deal with. Like there's
I've
a
heard
lot
that.
of
I've
things
heard that.
that they tell the world that we aren't. And at that point in my life, I was like, I have to prove to people that I can be loved and I can be desired and I can have something because the world keeps on telling everybody that I'm not deserving of it. So I want to just prove that.
To like just
Hang on because I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
even
like-
if it's fake. It's just like
Even in my family, like even though my family loves me down, okay? Like they go to bat for me. But at the same time, they be like, oh, here this girl go again. She just, oh, God. I don't know how they going to deal with her. And I'm just like, I'm going to prove to y'all that somebody's going to deal with me. I'm going to prove to y'all that I'm worth that. I'm worth at least that. Like, I don't have to try so hard because, like, y'all made me feel like I wasn't. Y'all really did. So I feel like that's the reason why me personally, I like settled for a lot.
You settled.
But now I feel like in this era of my life,
I'm tired, child.
Rolling, don't get me wrong, but now in this era of my life personally, I just don't feel like I'm not settling for it.
So if you know that you're no longer settling, so why is dating difficult?
Dating is difficult because I'm not settling it.
I just like a very specific random man. Like that's, and Kayla knows what I'm talking about. Like I just like a
She like this specific type of man, and that man be not.
Non-existent.
No, it's not. They exist, but they don't have the redeeming qualities that she would also want.
and like so like I'm very I like to say I'm very unconventional. I'm very non-traditional in a sense, and and especially in our community, I've noticed that like a lot of Black men are very traditional. Like even though they really don't be traditional men, but they have these like traditional ideals and these traditional values, and it's like I don't fall into that at all. So like, to be honest, I've dated a lot of black men. They've been like, "You're so fucking masculine. Like, you're not feminine at all. Like, you're not soft." And it's like, it's not that I'm not soft. It's not that I'm not feminine. It's just I don't think the way that y'all think. Like, I challenge a lot of societal norms, me personally, and I find that a lot of black men that I date, they just don't agree with me on a lot of things. Like, that's why it's harder for me personally.
So let me ask you this, because you said you don't necessarily mold to societal norms. What is the end result you would like to have?
The end result I would like to have. Okay, so I would just give like an example. So like, it's a big in the black community. I know, probably not even the black community, but I know y'all probably seen it on Twitter a lot. But they want like women to be like,
Not they. I want to. What is the end result you want?
You want.
end result that I just want somebody to just accept me for like me. Like, I don't want to change anything about myself. Here's all, not shit. Like, I just want to be me and just somebody just loves that and appreciates it. Like, I don't gotta. Granted, I know in relationships sometimes compromise comes with it, but I don't want to compromise who I am, my core. So just somebody that always like appreciate that.
So you're not pursuing like a traditional marriage or something like that, right?
That's a perfect example. Like, I don't want to get married.
But that's the thing.
Not something that I desire. I don't even think I want kids. That's not something I desire.
You don't want kids?
No. So it's like,
Why? Hold on.
I just want to
preface
preface this conversation that you 24. One day you gonna. I just hope you remember this pod in this moment when
Yes.
you have kids and you gonna be like, no.
as I get older. But as for right now, I feel like I just don't want kids. I don't want them. I don't.
I mean, granted, right now you don't want kids, but like eventually, what you're saying is eventually you're gonna want them. Just right now you don't want them.
I don't know if that's gonna change. That's what I'm saying. I could change my mind years from now, but I don't know. Right now, I just don't feel like I really want kids. I don't feel like that's something.
Now, question, because this is interesting, because you are very aware of you and what you want. Now, are you pursuing men that want a traditional end result?
No.
I'm really not, like, because right now I'm really just like having fun.
Well, I guess, are you being pursued by men that normally want a traditional end result?
I don't think so.
So then, what's the
either.
problem then?
What was the question? He said, am I being pursued by men who want?
Traditional.
Oh, yeah, I am. That's the crazy thing. Because it's like, the thing is, men will want this traditional kind of like life, and they think that they can like mold me to want what they want. That's the problem. And it's like, I'm not going to change. Like, and it's not right now. Like, I don't.
But I'm on the opposite end where I do want a more traditional way of living and being. Like, I've always seen myself as a wife. I've always seen myself as a mother. But the men who've come around and said that they want to be that want someone who is in servitude of them instead of someone who is actually like a helpmate. Like, it's never about being equally yoked. It's always about me being under somebody. And
That's just what's popular on YouTube.
exactly. And then what's been a motif in my life is also men who say that they want that traditional person, but I still have accomplished things outside of you before meeting you because I'm not ever guaranteed the fact that I'm going to get married or going to have children or anything. So I have to prepare myself just in case, like, if that doesn't happen. So then I start getting things thrown in my face. Like, you're doing these things. You've become more popular. You done went to college and all these, like, just little things that I've decided to accomplish in my waiting for that time in my life because I am young. And I'm just like, okay, you're intimidated by these things when really, if you were to get to know
Who's
me,
intimidated?
I would allow you to be exactly who you would want to be. I don't have a problem with you wanting to be the leader of the household or any of that thing because I am a Christian. Like, Cam and I, we're actually best friends. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Cam and I are best friends. We are on totally opposite ends of the spectrum, but we still complement each other in like crazy ass ways. But we still hold our own. We hold our own traditions. We hold our own values, and I have no problem letting a man lead. I have no problem letting a man like do what he believes a man should do. If he wants to sit me down, go ahead, do what you got to do. But I'm never going to throw my college education in your face. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to like throw in the fact that like when I apply to jobs and do things like that, I know how to negotiate my salary so that I can make sure that I'm taken care of while I am single. Like I'm never going to make you feel like
Less
I'm
than.
better than or higher than you. But because you know this information about me, every chance you get, you try to cut me down.
That's terrible.
Like I spent a lot of time. I really did spend a lot of time with people, with men who like every chance they had, they took all the things that they liked about me in the first couple months and they said, okay, you think you this? Like as soon as we argue, as soon as we argue.
I think it depends because it's like if somebody's complaining about you going to college and you have an education, that's not the person you should be with. But I think it depends. It's like because if you went to college and they told me like no, the whole time you was in college you was hoeing, you was outside, and they feel a way about that. That's what they bringing up or whatever. Then that's one thing as opposed to be like oh no you doing a like you graduated college or whatever. Or if like you doing a pod, it's like there's nothing wrong with you wanting to grow and you doing a pod and you wanting to do your shit. But sometimes some of the conversations that we have on camera be like our partners don't even want to hear it. That like don't even want to hear it.
I got thrown in my face because I'm not gonna lie. In college, I was in a committed relationship the whole time. I was actually engaged. I've been engaged 2 times. But most people know about my second engagement the most, and because it was like the most public one, it like Camry remembers my ex-fiance the most and everything like that. They even throw that in my face. Like they even throw the fact that like when I explain like, oh yeah, I was actually like happy homemaker. Like I was going to school full time. My fiance was paying the bills and all that other stuff. Like, you know, like.
So let me ask you this, because this is interesting. Because I've heard a lot of what people do to you, but what causes them to throw that in?
For the most part, it's like, okay, they want to have these like very, I'm not going to say pseudo intellectual conversations because that's going to be kind of shady, but there's conversations that are had that they have a very condensed idea of what the conversation should go as. And it's a lot of stuff that I've studied, things that I've read up on, things that they were allowed to go and maneuver in life, like acting as if they knew what they were talking about because they had trigger words, they had all these things around people that didn't even know what it was about. So when we had the conversation and I started adding knowledge, stats, facts, because I'm thinking we're having a conversation as equals and intellectuals, it's like, oh, fuck you, bitch. You think you smarter than me?
They start throwing stuff. Oh, you think because you went to college, you went to this? You think just because this and that, you better than me?
That's crazy.
That's their insecurities coming out.
You let them books get to your head.
There's always this need to like humble Black women, especially when you know you're smart as hell. When you know, like, you're very open-minded and you have all these thoughts and ideas and perspectives, and, like, when you know that you're fine as hell, it's like niggas don't like that. Like, they feel a need to humble you because it kind of emasculates them. The fact that you know you the shit.
I was told that I made someone feel lesser than because I questioned their thoughts. And really all I needed was clarity because I'm like, okay, let me see what you really thinking so that I can either, okay, I agree or I see where you coming from. Or you see here in these studies, that's not really how that works. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, fuck you, bitch. You think you so smart. Fuck you. You really only, you like 3. now you throwing my age in there. now you like disrespecting me. Now you like
Belittling you. Just
So
for
what-
stupid
they belittle me every
So it's a
chance
lot
they
of they
get.
and that. So
You
what do
guys
you
do
guys do wrong?
Because it's a lot
Because
of
it's a
that.
lot of they.
What do I do? Cause once I start feeling disrespected, now I'm gonna call you a stupid ass motherfucker. Okay?
Before you get to that point, though. Before you get to that point.
Accountability, like what are our flaws? No, that's just something that me and Kelly talk about in our podcast a lot, because a lot of women don't like to take accountability for the things that they and we talk
That is
about that a
facts.
lot. One thing about me, make men feel small. About me, like I tend to overthink things a lot, like, and I pay attention to a lot of things. So like I might overthink like your body language, the way you looked at me, like the way you texted me. So I tend to like, I'm a firecracker. Like I be cursing niggas.
She be like, fuck you, nigga.
I'm trying to work on it. That's one flaw of mine. I can say it. I'm really trying to work on it. Sometimes I even text Kayla before I text somebody. Like, should I? Like, and I be like, so I can definitely say that. I can even say like in my younger relationships, like I just wasn't mature. I was like 17, but I wasn't mature at all. Like I was doing a lot of toxic stuff, and I know I'm not perfect. So I don't be walking around here acting like I'm just perfect and I don't do anything wrong. No, I got my flaws too. But I think the difference is I'm just very self-aware of my flaws. Like I'm very self-aware.
So you don't like.
I never hide from it.
So interesting. So I'm gonna take it into a little bit of a different pace, but not 100%. So how do you think? Because if I'm not mistaken, you guys fall under the Gen Z generation. I think all of you are right on the
Millennial.
board.
I'm on the borderline millennial.
Sure.
All four was basically.
So
There's a millennial
yeah, but you're technically a Gen Z. So
for that, but yeah.
Bro, you're a millennial, no?
nah,
I'm a millennial. But what I was gonna say is,
millennial.
how do you think you will meet that person? Because there's studies that have come out that have shown that 50% of men under 25 have not approached a woman in the last year.
I'm gonna keep on pursuing men. And if you just not the person for me, then you just not the person for me. But to piggyback off of Cam, like I will say that before I start getting turned, when I feel disrespected or when I feel like you're trying to play on my intelligence, I will say that I flex my brain. Like I'll be like, oh, since you think that you want to start disrespecting me and make me try to feel dumb. Like there was a person that tried to call me dense. I said, oh.
Trigger word.
So now since we dense, let's do this for real. Like you want to have a debate. So let's debate it.
What you got from that?
And I got a person that like just ended up being extremely mean, because it's like once you don't have a rebuttal, now you trying to take personal jabs. Like there's a person like, cause you can't match me intellectually.
I got you. So that's what I'm asking.
So I really feel like
That's a real flaw, because one thing about men is that they have ego, and because I understand, women have egos, but they're not as fragile. And
You see, so that's a little bit.
I know that men's egos are fragile, and because
So
of that,
I'm gonna give you a counterpoint, because you just technically admit it. It's like, oh, you bruised my ego because I know I'm intellectually smarter than you. So now let's go there. So it was your ego in that moment responding, and you let your emotions take over. And it was like, now I'm gonna prove you wrong.
So how is
So
it
it works
not
both
fragile?
ways.
it was a fragile moment. But the reason why he called me dense was because he could not match me. And so I'm like, okay, so since we want to start being like emotional about this, like since we want to go there,
I think you use that to your advantage though. Like you know that you smarter than you definitely smart. You smarter than me. I can't speak for them, but I'll say you smarter than me. So it's like that's one of three. So let's say, and just in the percentage of us three right here, if you smarter than every one and every three dudes that you date, that's already something you can use. Even if you wrong in a conversation,
and that's
you gonna
where
use
my
that into your-
pettiness is.
But it's like
I don't want to use it.
be trying to like flex on nobody, but it's like, oh, like
Since you want to go there.
Yeah, and like, it's like, no matter how smart I am, I'm still a person. I'm still human. And then there's also times where they'll use the insecurities that I've opened up to them about. And so like, so now that you've become petty that way, I'm going to hit you where I know it hurts because everybody else in your life sees you as this. Everyone
But I'm gonna make
else.
sure you
And I'm
see
gonna
yourself
make-
as what you actually.
I'm going to make sure that I show you that I know that I see right through that.
This is crazy.
Because
to me.
that's the shit. Because I ain't gonna lie, as like I've been in relationships, and I don't feel the same way. I didn't share shit that I'm like, damn. Then later on, it was brought up to me, like thrown in my face, that I'm like, damn, this shit really hurt. Like you know the exact spots to hit because I told you the spots to hit because I trusted you.
Trust you.
So now it's like you
To
hitting
use
the
that
spot-
against me, it's like, whoa.
crazy.
And then
So
also-
I have never done. I ain't.
And
never purposely done
also the empathy piece for men love to feel safe. And I'm not going to lie, as terrible as it sounds, the way that I set it up is like I knew that he felt safe in telling me like, like I didn't pay attention in school and I didn't do this and I didn't do that.
I know
So
exactly
as
where you going.
soon as he tried, I was like, nigga, you was shooting in gym when you should have been paying attention in class, bitch. And I knew that hurt because everybody around him was even worse than him. So when he spoke to everybody else, it sounded like he knew what he was talking about. And he's even used me as a catalyst for his own conversations. I mean, calling me on a group FaceTime call about random shit that he couldn't elaborate on. So he's panicking because people are trying to like negate his points. And so he's like, Kayla know exactly what she's talking about. And I murked everybody. A room full of men, a call full of men, murked them. Murked them.
She really know how to like not manipulate.
I love the confidence. I would keep it a
Yeah,
being.
she just know how to conquer the room is what it sounds like. She know how to conquer in conversation.
I know for a fact that it was wrong. And I ended up apologizing to him because it's just like, I should have never did that shit to you. Even if you did something to me, I should have never, ever, ever did that. And I hold myself accountable for being that way. Because when people who don't feel smart, they act out. It's like, that's a scientific fact. Actually, there's studies done about people who are less intelligent and how they act out in classrooms and how they do things to disrupt so that it can take the attention off of what they're lacking. And that was the situation right there. And I should have never put him in the position to feel that low.
But at least you have the maturity and the acknowledgement of such things. Like you can hold yourself accountable enough to where you apologize. You didn't let your pride get the best of you.
Yeah, like another aspect to this too. So like, I like to say we're a sex positive podcast, but we don't only talk about sex. But for some reason, like sex sells. So
What is sex?
What is sex positive? In the
sex
way that you describe
positivity
it?
is basically like normalizing conversations around sex. That's really all that it is. Like normalizing talking about those accidents that happen during sex. So like just maybe a fun time you had during sex. Just normalizing conversations, not making it weird, not making it awkward. Like it's okay to talk about it because it's sex. Like not that deep. So that's really what it is. But back to what I was saying, a lot of people think that me and Keller are like bimbos, like we're stupid as hell. Because to be honest, like a lot of clips that go viral are the clips of us talking about sex. Even though we talk about so many things, like we talk about black feminist thought. We talk about a lot about race and social science and all those kind of things, but they don't ever pick up. They don't ever go anywhere. So a lot of men, when they meet us, they think that like we're very stupid. Like they just think
We had an experience about that.
Do y'all know why that is? Why do y'all think that men like think about y'all that way?
Now, do men tell you that they think you're stupid, or you're assuming it?
Or that's the way that you perceive it?
the way I perceive it. That's the way I perceive it. Even like the things that like they do or like say.
Nah,
Like
here's what I'll say. the women tell us that they think that we're absolutely stupid. I will say that the women do that, but the men, because I will say that when we joke and we talk about like a fun experience we had, a crazy experience we had, or whatever, the way that they fantasize or fetishize us then dictates how they're going to, like, you know, interact with us. We actually had this experience last week where a man came and approached us. We were actually in the corner. We were just talking, whatever. He came, he asked us for a threesome. Like, just like that.
But the way he went about it was weird.
He was like, have y'all ever had a threesome before? We kind of like, at first, we were like, oh, this is just a regular conversation about sex, because we never, ever shy away from that.
This party that we had hosted, it was like a cake kind of party. So we thought he was just asking us that, just to have like casual conversation about
Yeah, because he was asking, like, what type of kink event was it? Like, is there going to be demonstrations there? Is there going to be things there? Blah, blah, blah. So we're like, okay, cool. Like, you're asking us things.
So
He's gonna look at this like, damn, they talking about me.
You know what he asked us? He was like, I don't want y'all talking about me. Well, sorry, nigga. And then, like, it got real crazy. Like, I was like, at first, no, it was harassment. It was harassment, because it got to the point where he was just like, well, if y'all not going to be doing demonstrations, because we were just hosting, well, y'all can come to my house and I can cook y'all food and y'all can show me y'all titties and we
This was his approach. This was his approach.
I wonder if that should be working though. I really be wondering, like, they motherfuckers be bold.
That's beyond bold.
every single time.
It happens often.
Wow.
And he was like, yeah, like, we could, like, no cameras, no nothing. We could just do us together. And I was like,
And we're both obviously uncomfortable. And I'm like, is he not sensitive?
and we looking at each other like,
I'm like, no, sometimes, man.
Like, how though? Because
we said,
Because honestly, because it's a lot of times it depends on the situation, like the way that shit is presented.
okay.
So some
Like, excuse me.
no, that's obvious. He was bugging for not seeing
no,
that.
like, we was literally like more than like,
Not exaggerating. We were literally looking at each other like, oh. Like, and he still kept going.
and he like put his arms around us and
Why you
everything.
ain't get up and dip though? Why you
Like-
ain't leave? Like, not leave the spot, like the venue, but necessarily like leave the couch, for example, or leave wherever y'all was at in the.
This the thing, like, when women are, women are in situations like this, we're very uncomfortable. So it's like, we don't even want to.
And also, I've been in violent situations.
Exactly. So it's like, we don't even want to leave because it's like, we don't want to, like.
You're too scared to,
So,
like,
I'm
yeah.
scared to even move. I'm scared to even lay in. So it's just like,
I'm just like,
Like, y'all get scared even if, like, feeling about his butts like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been in very violent situations where I've denied or been like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you doing that? Like, I've been in very violent situations publicly. Like, niggas really drew on me. And I'm like, okay, so that never happens again? I'ma just like, all right.
So it's funny.
Drew is Philly for like bugged out, just perfect.
I'm gonna put it real quick. I'm just because one of my next topics was how dangerous are men in this day and age. I specifically wrote Gen Z just because it was like your generation, but I don't know if that's the only people you are trying to date.
Like
But
interacting with.
how dangerous are they?
Particularly dangerous. They will really pop you in your shit.
Now, this is interesting because I'm like, I think I come from a different generation, which is not much older than you, but it's part of it, the circles that you're revolving yourself around and the kind of people you hang around that push you in those situations.
A lot of, so me and Kayla, we always talk on our podcast about like this, because we are in the creative scene a lot, and a lot of the creative,
They are predatory.
the videographer, the musicians, like they're predator. Like, it's a lot of women that have like spoken out about a lot of men. So it's like we come across them a lot.
A lot.
So that could also be a reason why we experience it a lot.
Now,
But they do, like, Kim and I also have been in domestic violence situations, both of us, at very, very young ages. Actually, like, disgusting. I was 14 when I got into a domestic violence situation. 14 years old. That's when it started.
I think that said it's like 1 in 4 black people will be in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. But, like, we both were in, like, physically, emotionally, verbally abusive situations when we were extremely young. And so I think that also plays a huge part in how we deal with men now. But I will say that Kim and I, out of our friend group, I think all of us, all of our friends have experienced that. And we're Gen Z, so that's where that goes.
because to me, that makes me ask a few questions. Like in my mind, is it and then I'm a man, so I'm on a completely opposite side of the spectrum. But I do fit under the I'm a fashion photographer, so like I travel the world taking pictures of models. This is literally what I do when I'm not here. Um, and I know I mentioned that, and I know that does exist. So, what are things that you either think men should do or that you can do differently to not find yourself in those kinds of situations? Because I've also see it from a perspective of a photographer where I may have a model and the stories I hear while they're in the makeup chair and of what they're willing to do just for exposure or just to be somewhere create and for lack of a better description creates or breeds these predators.
There's anything that women should not do. I think I think men should just stop being predators and stop being abusive. I don't think the focus should really be on women. I think it should be on men. I think y'all need to unlearn like rape culture. I think y'all need to unlearn
A lot of like these abusive tendencies that are like pushed through like the media and stuff like that. I think y'all also need to listen to women. I don't think women need to do anything. I think men in general, again, I'm not talking individually. Men in general, y'all just need to unlearn a lot of these things that had been pushed through the culture.
I think
It's like you don't think that there should be accountability on both ends?
I think for me, I think that also I think that women should really leave because Cam and I, our friends, we knew that nigga was gonna hit us because he did it the first time and they said sorry. And we knew that he wasn't sorry. So we needed to dip. I think that women should, no matter what, advocate for themselves, no matter how ostracizing it feels. I feel like women should always hold other women who uphold rape culture, uphold these weird ass stereotypes and shit like that, hold other women accountable for the stupid shit that they say out their mouth about what is going on and why we should just accept certain things. And I also feel like we shouldn't shut up. I feel like as soon as a nigga hit you, go to the police. Like,
Nuance when it comes to like, if people say, oh, just leave. Like, it's really not that easy. Like, if you look at the psychological and like even the biological effects of a woman being abused, it's not.
But Cameron, we be having support. Because we even talked about,
For us personally, we definitely have support, but
everybody don't have that. But we gotta start actually saying something. Because, like, we have to go against our heart and use our mind. Because every woman who's been abused, we all say, like, we should have said something. We knew we should have said something. We should have done something. Like, go with your first mind. That's the only thing I could think that women should be doing is going with their first mind.
That's the only thing I think women should be doing. I don't think, I agree with that.
And how
You
about leaving at the sign of some red flags? And let me know if I'm wrong, because once again, I haven't experienced this. before somebody gets to the point where they're physical, was there ever, and I know you guys experienced this young, so it may not be fair, but I'll ask it just because you have had the experience. Was there any indication that this person or people, I don't know if it was more than one, could have gotten physical?
Not even love bombing for me. Not love bombing for me. Like, golly. I guess we getting deep right now. Like,
It's okay because this is where our dark humor come in. We be laughing about this shit.
but from my experience, it was like he didn't just start off like wilding on me. Like, we got into an argument, he yoked me up.
Yeah.
That's when I should have all right, cool.
Or he raised his voice like super high.
Yeah, like he
it
start
scares me.
like veins popping out, and I'm like, oh shit, because I've never gotten yelled at like that.
Not even by your parents or anybody.
Not
in
even
the
my
family.
parents. Yeah, like my dad, especially growing up, because I always like my daddy and shit now. But like growing up, my dad took me out on dates and all that other stuff. He ain't never ever raised a hand to me, never yelled at me, never nothing. Like, if anything, he gave me whatever the fuck I wanted. So him be raising his voice at me should have been a red flag. Him actually like taking his hand, and the thing is, like, I'm 14. I'm like, shit, like 104 pounds, like 4'11". What? And you like 250? You 250, like almost 6 feet, and you yoking me up? What have I done to you to yoke me up like that?
Love bombing aspect, like,
And yeah, then you come in. Not even that. It's like you do all that, and then the next day you come in with like a big, a life-size teddy bear and a bouquet in school, and everybody can see it. I'm in 9th grade, and you older than me, and you bringing all this shit to me because they don't know that you really wild out on me, right? Crazy.
So
I'm getting a trend, and I'll move away from this topic, but I think it's interesting as I hear both of you talking, and I hear this often from women. You guys are really good at ignoring red flags.
Yeah.
It's like you become experts at it.
I acknowledge that. I do.
So then why not admit that and say this is probably what we should do as women is stop ignoring, because you can vocalize it. You can literally say it in words, and you can point the finger at the things that they're doing wrong, which means in the moment you're seeing it. So why not say whenever these things happen, then I'll
Walk
leave
away.
or not even be close to this. Don't even let it get to that point.
The whole self-esteem part, because I can't even sit here and tell you that my shout out to my mom. I was in the bathroom taking a shower, and my mom, she just come in the bathroom because she has no sense of privacy whatsoever.
Right. Typical.
So she like, I'm taking a shower, she's sitting on the toilet, and I'm telling her about the excruciating year that I had. Okay.
Mind you, she's on the toilet.
Yup, she just like, when have you ever seen me do that? That bathroom was silent for a good 15 minutes. She's like, when have you ever seen me? Because I'm telling her all the things that I had to go through. She's like, when have you ever seen me put myself through that for anybody?
And that I know that hit you hard.
That
I was like,
hurt.
because it's like you ain't teach me that. Like, so why the hell was I doing that?
She's like, where did you get that from? What in the world made you think that you ever had to go through that? And I set your life up to where you never had to do something like that. And all you heard was the water when I did.
Right.
Because I was like, she never taught me that. Because I seen her be in relationships. And I actually seen her be like, oh, you think shit's sweet? Bye.
He asked for red flags.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gradually learning. I'm gradually learning to like just pick up on red flags. Because personally, I talk about it for the podcast a lot. Like, I was a little bit very like abusive household. So I think sometimes I tend to mimic like my mom's behavior when it comes to dating men. But as I get older and I go to therapy, because I am in therapy, and I go to therapy and I'm picking up like little tools and stuff like that, I'm so weird.
Let me
I'm on
follow
the
this up.
inverse. I
'Cause
feel like I seen my mom do it by herself.
I'm going to challenge you guys. Because you're saying you're really bad at detecting red flags and certain behaviors.
No. They ignore it.
They ignore it. But I'm going somewhere with this. But there's something that many women do this, and you guys did this when we first started. You declare yourself experts at detecting someone's energy and identifying someone's zodiac sign and what they are and what they can be and how they may interact. So why not apply that same sense of observation skills to those red flags so you don't find yourself in these situations?
For me, like I said, I see my mom do life by herself. That was the hardest shit ever. It's hard. And then when you become an adult and your parents open up to you about how life is hard and how they don't want to do it by themselves, and the only way that you can not make that your life is to try to figure out how not to do that. I can't lie. Like, I'm like, the only way that I can make, other than all the other ways that I've done, made my mom proud, is to figure out a way to cultivate a family that mimics the one that my mom tried so hard to create for me.
Ooh.
For me, it's just like, I'll pick up on the shit, but I'll ignore it because, again, it's just circles back to like the desirability thing. Because it's like, I grew up in a household where like I never felt wanted. So it's like I might ignore certain shit just because even if I know you ain't shit, I'm going to just keep you around because I like the desirability. And that's something I'm working on. I'm not perfect. That's something I'm working on. I know that it's horrible to even think that way. Your self-esteem got to be in the pits of hell. But I acknowledge that. So it's like, that's why sometimes I just ignore shit. I'm like, I'm going to just keep you around for the plot. I just like the attention.
And that's not,
It's like just like the benefits that it comes with.
and that's not where I'm at, because like, I'm not going to lie, I didn't have to go through that. Like, my mom used to wake me up, hi, pretty girl. Good morning, pretty girl. And my dad called me every day. Like I said, like he would take me out on dates and all this other stuff. So I never had that part. But I also seen my mom, because of her education, because of like the jealousy that I've noticed in certain men and things of that nature. People trying to change her. People trying to diminish her for who she was. And like, even my mom paid her way through college, and there was a lot of stuff that she had to do by herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she told me how hard it was. I don't want to continue her legacy in that way. I want to build on top of it in the way that she couldn't give me. Because you gave me the education, you gave me all these other things. So let me give you a family unit that you can be proud of. But in that, me trying to strive for that, I was just like, okay, the only way I'm going to be able to get the family unit is if I ignore all these red flags and all this other stuff in order to get that.
Shouldn't it be the opposite?
Yeah,
It
I was gonna
should
say
be, but I think that I convinced myself that I just have to take whatever I can get.
So from listening to everything you're saying, it sounds like you're pretty much going through the same thing your mom went through, because you're being intelligent, being so, what's the word I want to use? Having the advantage over most men, I want to say, that you haven't been so successful in relationships. Yeah. And because of this, you are able to bring out insecurities in these men, which it don't make sense to me, because I don't feel like you should feel insecure for having a smart woman by your side of anything that's helpful. But it just sounds like just like how life is. It's a cycle.
Hold up, because there was a word, and I'm going to follow up exactly on what you said. You say you have to take whatever you can get. So for lack of a better term, you think you have to settle. I didn't plan to go there, but now I'm going to have to ask. What's on your list?
For me, on my list,
You can simplify it.
and this list is now like because of the tumultuous year I had. I really, the top two things is consideration and acceptance. Like
Acceptance of themselves or you?
both. Accept yourself for who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses.
But then other than that, you don't have any other requirements. No physicality. They don't have to look a certain way. They don't have to meet you somewhere with money.
Okay,
They don't have to
so-
have a certain education.
Not the sit up. You see that?
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
hold on, wait a minute. You didn't say that.
So me, I like super duper fine men. Like you have to be super fine. Like I just feel like it's very like is it disingenuous? Is that a word? Very disingenuous.
With women.
to not-
You felt that, Paul.
With women.
it's very
crazy.
disingenuous to like not be attracted to somebody that you're with, to me, because it's like, why are you with somebody that you're not attracted to? Like it's just, I don't know. That's just one thing for me. I also like super charming men. I like men who are like gentlemen. Like I like men who say we go out to a supermarket and say, thank you to like the cashier, or like just open the door for women. Like I love men like that. I really do. I like men who have like sex appeal too. Like that's like a big thing for me. I don't know. It's just a turn on for me personally. I love men with sex appeal. I like ambitious men. I love men who march to the beat of their own drum. Men that have like an infectious kind of energy. Like I like men like that. I also like men who just accept me for me. They're not into like all these kind of like misogynistic ideals. Like I don't like men like that. I like men think differently and challenge me intellectually. Like I like men who make me kind of reflect on myself. I like men like that. Like men that challenge me. I like men who are very intellectual. Like I'm a sapiosexual. Like that's my type, for real.
All right.
Now, can
So
you
question.
accept men for who they are though? Like you said they need to accept you for who.
Oh yeah, I can accept men.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Camry.
she said, "Kill your friend."
Camry, I don't know it. Camry.
And now, is there an age? Now I'm gonna ask a question.
Camry,
Just a follow up.
You be like, it's okay. Then you get to the group chat.
Is there a particular age group that you will prefer?
Like my age, probably a couple of years older, but like I don't like.
All right.
Yeah, can you give a ballpark for like?
Wow, that's
Like
different.
we're talking
in the
like
conversation?
25, 27,
Yeah,
30.
like a ballpark, like
just
a
a
4
ballpark.
year, like a 4 year span.
4 to 30.
All right. So then my follow-up question to that, because this is sometimes where like the male logical sense comes in differently than a woman. You describe like the way men think tends to be more logical than the way women think.
Usually.
Just nature. Like we think about things and not about
Ain't
feelings.
like that. Well, look at me.
But what I was gonna say is, based on what you described a man that every woman in your age bracket was probably gonna be attracted to. Now,
To be honest, women
Are
don't
those
like men
men-
with infectious energy. They be saying, "Oh, I want the nigga
now
that's
those
in the corner."
men that fall within that category, do you believe they want to be in any form of serious relationship, especially within that age range?
No,
Some don't. It's like 50-50.
I don't believe that. I think that at this age right now, men who are infectious, men who are super fine and have access to whoever they want,
In their early to mid 20s is what it sounded like, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
They don't want that.
You're especially if you're looking for somebody to settle down, you're looking for someone that doesn't exist. Yeah. Like
Yeah, I
you.
think it's 50-50 because even when we look at some women want to be in relationships.
It's
Like,
not
women-
50-50. Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Do
not.
you want to know like the real number?
there's a way wider range of women who want to be in a relationship than men right now.
In this day and
Especially-
age,
No, I'm saying like at our age right now, women want to be settled down a little bit more.
I do think the pendulum is swinging. Now the only problem is, and this goes back to my comments, is once a hoe stays and I know this is different, but and it sticks as men, because men we're just gonna think about it very, very differently. But I do believe the pendulum of women wanting to be not necessarily settled down, but want to go back to some of the, I don't even want to say, some of the feminism might have went too far. and now they're okay with coming back to some traditional stuff.
I think so, yeah.
She
Yeah.
said, not me.
But yeah, that is very
But then that puts place right now, like the men you described. I'll be honest, there's not many of them out there, because most of them want for them to be fine in the way that you describe them and be so in touch and in tune with themselves, and then to have the intellect that you would like them to have. That means they're probably out of every 10, it may be one. And then you need that one to be single and be willing to commit. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, it's a very small percentage. And now, out of that very small percentage, to find one that's willing to actually settle down into a relationship, the chances of that being true is slim to none. And sometimes I just like vocalizing that and putting it out there, because I don't know if women sometimes stop to think about it that way. And this is the logical piece I was saying. It's like, oh, I'm like literally making it into a math equation in my head. And I don't know if that comes, like, if that's the way you would have thought about it.
I mean, that is true. Like, the type of men that I like are very rare, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to settle. Like, that's what I want. That's
Hey,
what
that's
I want.
fine.
If I don't get it, then I'm perfectly okay with just being.
Perfect. So that's good. No, because I sometimes say that and I vocalize it, and as long as you're okay with that, that's fine. And the only reason I think it's important to sometimes lay things out in such a specific way is to be able to say, oh, maybe my requirements may be unrealistic. Should I be changing them if what I want in life is really a relationship? If it's not, then it doesn't matter. Like, if you're cool being alone, then you're cool being alone. As long as you accepted that, then that's fine.
But is it a bad thing that women like to be alone these days? Or like women are not prioritizing
Not a woman, so I
men
don't
and
know.
they're just centering men. Is that bad?
I mean,
I feel like a lot of men kind of look at women who don't prioritize men or don't censor men, and then women, especially black women, are just okay being single and being by themselves and living their best lives. Y'all look at us as like we're alone, like we're pitiful.
No, I don't think so. I think it's more of I think women by now, they have adapted, or they force themselves to adapt. And sometimes they may be telling themselves that story. But I think if you take her story and how much her mom struggled doing life on her own, that kind of tells you,
and
like, hey,
not
once I get into
financially or like anything else, because like let me make this very clear. Like I said, my mom is very educated. She had a great job. She has a great job. She made sure that as a single mom, people really did assume that I was in a 2-parent household because of how well taken care of I was. What I said about her doing life alone, I see the effects more of it now, me being an adult. And I see how, because my mom is seeing me date and doing things and like express that I want marriage and children and all these things in a family, now she's like trying to figure out her footing as a single person. Try like, okay, what does partnership look like for me? What do I want for myself? Like, now that I'm becoming an empty nester, that's what I'll say. Like, my mom is not out here struggling for nothing, okay, baby.
No, I don't
She
even
did.
think it's like struggling. Because I think struggling financially is easy, because I think we're in America, so money is usually one of the first things we think about. But like, when I talk about doing life with someone, it's more about having emotional support, having somebody else who share problems with. And I don't necessarily mean just go and complain to. Like, if you have a kid that may be doing bad in school or something, if you have to carry that burden just on your own, or if he gets sick and you have to run to the hospital and everything's on you as an individual, not having that other person that can help can be extremely draining.
It is. Now
and when
that
you
was
have
the
to
part that was
account for
hard.
18 years, because usually how long you keep a kid for at a minimum, you have to be their sole provider in every sense of the word. So if you have two parents involved, that makes it much easier, because that burden is split into two. So then that allows you to truly have some bandwidth to follow maybe an education, follow a career, whatever the case you want to put in there. So doing it all alone is not easy. Like, the money piece, yeah, that comes and it helps if you have two incomes, sure. But I don't think that's the value in a marriage or a relationship.
I think nowadays people put too much value in being alone. I think we lost a sense of valuing having somebody in our lives. I mean, taking it biblically a little bit, you know, it says that we weren't created to be alone. Man, it's not good to be alone. And nowadays we are structured to be more selfish, more independent, just think about ourselves, and lacking the value of actually considering somebody else.
Right.
And
Men?
You need
Huh?
Men or women?
both. Both.
You need community and likes to even thrive. Like, this has been studied on. I just don't feel like
Even taking it to a child, it takes a village to raise a kid. Like,
it's for sure. I just don't think that like romantic love, like, it's not, if you're avoiding it, like, it's not like you can't find love in other areas of your life, like platonically with your friends or through family or
Yeah. But Kim, you can't lie. Like, even just conversations we had with our friends, like, just because it's not necessary, we've all talked about how we desire that.
everybody,
Like,
I don't care what
it's
nobody
not
says. Everybody desires
It's
that.
like,
And it
it's
depends
not
on what you value, too.
necessary. I get it, but at the same time, we have all had very candid conversations about that being a very strong desire of wanting romantic love, desiring.
tries to express that every woman really just does. There are some women that really don't, like, they might want it, but it's like they're not tripping if they don't ever get it. And I think people find that so hard to believe.
They're tripping. They're not tripping because
I think
They're-
it just looks different for everybody.
I think they're not
think it
tripping
looks
because they kind of accepted the fact that this false idea, like, oh, I'll never have it.
That's true too. There's nuance.
But that doesn't take away the fact that they still desire it, though.
Yeah, you
And the desire is,
like, you're not like, oh my God, like, if I don't get it, like, I'm gonna be miserable for the rest of my life.
It's not that they're not tripping over it. It's that they just pretty much gotten used to it. Like, they kind of like learned to live with the fact of that idea.
difference between not tripping and like settling for the fact that it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
just because you've accepted it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt the same. It doesn't make you upset. It doesn't make you feel a type of way.
And it doesn't take away the fact.
That shit, but I'm cool with it. Like she said, like I'm cool with it. Like that's not the space that I'm in today. But that don't mean I don't want it.
Again, there's nuance to this conversation. Like, that is very true. But there are also, like, we can't forget, there are women out there who really just, that's not a priority for them. I just think some women really, I forget what the term is, but there are some women who really just don't desire.
Like romantic partnership.
It's called being aromantic.
I think it's your age.
Romantic. Like it's some women out there.
But there's a difference.
It's so hard to
But there's a
believe,
difference.
women have to want a man.
No, there's a difference between being aromantic and not having romantic love. Like, a aromantic person is someone who does not desire romantic love. That's what aromantic is. It's not the fact that you desire it or that you want it.
Yeah, it's
Nuance. That's why I keep saying it's nuance to this whole conversation.
But that's not necessarily what we're talking about, Henry.
What's that thing you always say that women at 28 they might start to change a little bit?
Yeah.
That's what I really think that it's just your age and where you at. Like he's about to have his second kid right. He's married to my sister. He's about to have his second kid right now. Like they about to have their second kid right now because he's obviously not pregnant. So and my sister would always and throughout her whole 20s she'll be like, I don't want to have no kids. I don't want to have a kid. But she about to have a second kid, probably a third kid in the future. So it's like I just think it's your age.
Have your frontal lobe cortex or whatever develops. But what I think that the conversation that's being had is that, like, we're not talking about women who are aromantic and do not desire romantic relationships and people or women who want or desire those things but are just like, I am okay with not having that. Those are two different conversations
I
that are
think
being
there's
had.
two things. I think most women would like to have a partner. Most.
Most people. I think it's a
Yeah,
people.
I think as a
it's a people
human, as a
thing.
human being.
Most people will.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying because I know she mentioned women are aromantic, but I think it's most people in total. I think doing life on your own is it's a sad thing, and as you get older, you see that more and more. But
Especially as you get older.
As you get older.
But I think in
yes.
America, we have fallen into the delusion of we're okay being independent and doing everything by ourselves. And also the luxury that we have in America of having so much access to things allow us to truly live alone because the government and society supplies what that partner would have done for you in any other society. Does that make sense?
I think like a little more content.
So what I mean by like in some societies, for example, like and I'm gonna use the traditional marriage, men and women, right? The man is usually the protector, and not just the provider, but literally the protector. And right now in society in Philly, for example, you don't necessarily need a man to be the protector because you have access to 911 and you can have someone available within a few minutes at your doorstep. Okay. Usually a man that's being supplied by the government. Like 90% of the time, if you call 911, you're probably expecting a male policeman or male fireman to come over. So they are playing that role. There's other countries in the world where there's no 911 to call. And throughout most of human history, the men play that role to protect for the women and children. So that's kind of like what I mean.
Okay, so what was the question though? Like,
Because I think because of that reason
that's why people are more like
we kind of played in our mind the acceptance of being alone because we have all these services that can almost supplement for that correct.
I agree with that. That is true.
I feel like we also lost the idea of how valuable it is to have a strong foundation within a family. I think there's a lot of women nowadays that say, "Oh, I don't want to have kids." What kids? What? I don't want that. But I feel like we definitely lost the value and the beauty of having kids, building a family.
I think that's on both men and women.
Both, yes.
To note that motherhood is not for everyone.
Yeah, it's not.
There
are some women who do not want kids, and again, this circles back to what I was saying about how I think that society, y'all think that all women, like y'all are conditioned to think that all women are supposed to just, they want a man so bad, they want to have kids so bad, to the point where when y'all come across a woman that don't want neither of those things, it's, oh my God, there's no way you have.
Because not every woman should have kids, like, or not every father, or not every man or woman should have kids. And
That's very true. It's some women out here that like, I feel like a lot of women, like, they have kids because they feel like they're supposed to. Like, they don't really look at, like, what goes into being a parent.
That's
and
very
for
true.
me personally, at least right now in my life, because I'm not saying that my thoughts on things won't change as I get older, because I know for sure I looked at things differently, like when I was a teenager compared to now. But as of right now, I just feel like I do not have the patience for kids. Like, I like being by myself. When I see my friends with kids and they have to, like, oh, I gotta find a babysitter, I'm just like, I don't ever want to do that. Like, I want to get up.
But also, we don't have access. That's another thing.
I also just want to get up and go.
Do whatever the hell I want.
Because you're still in that like self stage, like you're not
But
ready.
it's like, no, I get that. But it's like the older I get, the more I really look into what parenthood really like entails, especially when I had conversations with like my mom and my aunt and stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm not going to say I don't want kids, but it's like now I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'm just like, I'm questioning it. Like, do I really want kids? Is that for me?
You gonna want kids. You just gotta give yourself some time.
I feel like because you started out wanting kids, and then also like both of us are in a place where we can't afford a babysitter, we can't afford kids, we can like, we're trying to afford ourselves. I think that that's playing a part in whether or not you have the patience, because to be honest, Camry, when we were younger and you had more access to the things that you wanted and that you could do for yourself, you didn't question whether or not you wanted kids, because you could take care of yourself.
I was like 17. I'm like, oh, I just.
But
I wanna get married, I wanna have kids.
when
That's
you,
what I thought that's what I wanted.
but Carrie, even when we like were older and you were able to still get your waxes and get your lashes done and get your nails done because you could afford it, I think that a lot of it has to do with finances as well. Now that things are changing, you're like, I don't have the patience because I don't even have patience for taking care of myself.
Y'all talking like
That's-
if y'all
that's
single
exactly
mothers
where I'm at.
already, like you got to take into account.
But-
There's a man involved too. Like,
but that's it. That's the same shit. Cause I'm like, yo, I want to have kids, but I'm like, I feel like I feel that same way. I'm like, yo, I feel like I can't afford to have kids right now.
well, for
Cause
sure, for
it's not-
sure.
I can't afford to set them up the way that I want it
Yeah.
pictured in my head.
I want to be able to, cause like I'm not gonna lie, like my whole life was really contingent upon my mom's salary. Imagine that.
Yeah. That's tough.
Like I want to
That's
be
tough.
able, and that's a hefty check.
See, but you're on the side where you're not opposed to having kids. It seems like that's
Cause I
not a
know
question.
it's possible.
Yeah, you on the other hand, you're
Questioning, like the older I get, like the more, like when I was like 15, I'm like, I want to have kids, I want to have kids. But as I get
Every single year, I'm just.
But me and Carrie also grew up in two
different.
polar opposite environments. You feel
Every
me?
single year, the desire goes down. Every
Like
single
for
year.
me, when I was younger, I definitely was the one saying, "What kids? I don't want to have kids. I'm not." That's crazy.
Right.
But as I get older and as I get closer to God, I desire that way more than before. The desire of having a family, the desire of being equally yoked. Like, I'm not perfect, and I'm still working in my walk in faith, but
So I
it's
got,
definitely different from before.
I'm gonna make it because you guys already almost transitioned for me.
Sure.
Because like me being Christian as well, like I'm not gonna lie, like even though like I grew up Christian, I always had the idea of me being a wife and a mother and things of that nature. Me having my own like spiritual walk and stuff like that. It did double down on, like I did double down on wanting children and wanting to have that. Like I think that is a very, I'll say a religious approach to it. So like I feel you on that, but like as like when people don't have like that traditional religious approach, like that's when like family structure and things of that nature like become kind of muddled.
Muddled in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna transition a little bit because you guys kind of started hinting at it. One of the topics I had was mental health and why is Gen Z struggling, and I'm gonna take an interesting approach to that.
Definitely.
Because the approach I was gonna take with it, because I can see. So why are you struggling? That's one question, and number two is Gen Z, and I'm using Gen Z just because it's your age, but you can use anyone. Are we using mental health issues as a crutch in society?
Yes and no. I feel like social media is a huge part. We've seen rapid success because of social media. My mom is a baby boomer, by the way. So like my parents are like 2 or 3 generations removed from a lot of the parents that are like parents
yeah, so
that
she
are our
doesn't.
age.
So maybe you don't have Gen X, and yeah, you got
Like
two generations between.
my mom turned 60, 65 last week actually. So
Happy belated.
shout out to Charlotte, girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
But her growing up, she understood that slow and steady wins the race. Like it was 10 years between her undergrad and grad, like years and stuff like that. Like she literally like built brick by brick. And like didn't move out of her parents' house until she bought a house. Like there was a lot of things that happened in between those things. So even though I be looking and be seeing everybody like get things like super quick at my eyes, having her grounds me because it's just like, all right, I don't have to move that fast. I don't have to move that fast.
And
But
you don't have to compare yourself either.
exactly. And like she honest from the jump. Like, yeah, I bought my first car at 19, but also that car was $10,000. Where are you gonna get a $10,000 brand new car? Like, where the fuck you gonna get that shit at? Like,
That's used nowadays.
my mom is like, even though I be talking about how mean she be, like, she's also very real with me. And she like, take your time, bro. Take your time. And she didn't make me feel like I had to move out like 2 days after I turned 18, like nothing like that. Like her and I will say like that's my best friend, like that's my dog. Because like even I had a cold. She mommy more right away.
Yeah,
She like, you good? Like, let me get you some soup. Let me get you this. Let me get you that. Are you okay? Like, my mom, and I'll be like, mommy, get out of my room. And she's like, I'll never stop being your mom. No matter what happens, like, you are my child. I don't care if you on your deathbed and I'm 100. I'm going to make sure that I get up and make sure that you're good. I see my grandmother do the same thing for all of her kids. Like, so I think that keeps me grounded, but the rest of Gen Z, I don't think they ever I don't think they'll have that ever.
They'll have what?
That type of person to say like, we didn't get it quick, fast, in a hurry. Like, earn your keep, do what you have to do, make your mistakes. Your mistakes aren't who you are as a person, and you're going to get there in due time. A lot of Gen Z don't have that.
Everything nowadays is just rapid. It's
What
fast.
was the initial question? Can you ask your initial question again?
So I think it's a little bit of the opposite. No, what I was saying is, why is Gen Z struggling? And if we want to add the layer of mental health and mental health issues,
Yeah, I wanted to
is
hear
that being used as a crutch?
your answer was
in today's
different than
day and
hers,
age?
but then she went. So I want to hear your answer.
I think social media has a lot to do with it. I feel like a lot of people get on social media and they cap about a lot of things. They lie about their lives. They lie about their upbringing. They lie about the connections they had. They lie about a lot of things. And people get on the internet comparing themselves to other people, which I'm guilty of that. I feel like it's only natural as a human. Sometimes you might look at somebody that's your age or somebody who's in the same vicinity as you and you feel like that. Like, I'm not even like half of what they are right now. Like, I'm nowhere near it. Whole time you don't know if this person's selling pussy.
Because these girls be selling cash. They do. Like, they be selling cash.
Just an example amongst doing other things, but it's like I feel like that's why a lot of our generation is like we're so depressed. We're just always comparing ourselves, especially with girls. Like, we're comparing ourselves to like these influencers that are our age. You know, like we're there with Jada Waiter. Like, she my age. She got a whole mansion, got her own.
Kim and I talk about this with each other all the time. We be like, girl, what the fuck?
It can make you very depressed.
Like, what we doing?
Yeah, they can make you very fucking depressed. And I feel like even in music these days, like, don't get me wrong, I love like the female rap. I'm a female rap connoisseur. Like, I love it. But sometimes even when you listen to like the female rap, and I can only speak from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman. When you listen to like the female rap, they're constantly like, the music doesn't make you, like, they're not speaking or, like, trying.
You fucking with that broke ass nigga? Leave him.
To the everyday, around the way, kind of like black girl. It's just, like, everything is, like, oh, if he ain't buy you a Birkin, like
Burkers are $10,000. That's a
That's that used car.
for real. Like, it's just stuff like that in the rap and the music. Like, it just makes us feel like we're not where we're supposed to be. And right. It can, like, also because of social media, there's like a lack of community. Like, people, they community on social media. Like, they feel like that's their community, which in a sense, I guess that's true. Like, depending on like what you do. So we got like a podcast. So we have like our community of people that really fuck with us. But I know in real life, y'all not gonna be there for me like how Keller gonna be there for me. Like how my sister gonna be there for me. Like how my mom gonna be there for me. People creating parasocial relationships, and then when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and they realize that people don't give a
fuck about you.
It's like
It's a heartbreak.
you feel lonely as fuck because you're not actually going out and connecting with people.
Having genuine connections.
Exactly.
Real connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why we're depressed so much. On top of it being like the inflation is crazy right now.
But they really don't have people that were older to tell them that shit is okay. Like, that's what I was getting at with my point. Like, Carrie mom is young enough to be my mom's child. Like,
I think it's the opposite. So I think a lot of Gen Z has heard in their life, just because you exist, you deserve.
Oh yeah. Participation trophy children are a real thing. Like,
Because the only argument I'm gonna put up for what you guys have shared, because I'm not saying, like, I understand inflation is happening and within the last 3 years things have changed a lot, but how come somebody that is maybe 23, 24, 25 comes from another country and does make it, and they only had access to those opportunities like you had your own life, your whole life for 2 or 3 years, and they start working, get a house and so on, and like in a handful of years.
I think that one thing about it is that people in other countries get the access of what America really is like, and American people get an echo chamber.
I
As
don't
a
know what that means.
as a foreigner, as someone who has foreign family and everything like that, I can tell you that the messaging of America is work, work, work. This is what you do to get your shit. My American friends are just like, life is life.
So then does that
Yo,
mean
that was a great fucking description.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. That was a great
That's
description.
very true.
so then is that an American issue?
I think
Or
that
does
is
that
an
mean
American
that
issue.
or does that mean
Definitely.
that the American dream still is alive? It's just that people are not going after it.
I think that the American dream is alive, but it's only alive to people that are outside of America. People have divested, Americans have divested from the American dream because the American experience from birth to now is way different than someone who came over here and have parents or grandparents that came over here in the years of like, in separate years other than like, this beginning of like slavery and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking from the perspective of a black person living in America. I can't speak for everybody else. But as a black foreigner, like, I will say that we work till you die. Like, the education is where you get it. That's why everybody in my family is educated that way. Like, they do things because that American dream is still like contingent upon like the 1950s American dream, whereas everybody's like, oh, that shit is a fucking farce. Like the American people that grew up in America, who have roots in America from the beginning of their family lineage, from their knowledge, is like, fuck that shit. Like, what the hell? I can say that.
So then you are using your echo chamber or your mental health or whatever you want to call it as a crutch to say, I'm not making it because of whatever I'm describing that America went to shit or whatever.
I guess you could say that in a sense.
So when you say like crutch, you mean like as an excuse, like music?
As an excuse as to like why you haven't made it in life, why you don't have this, why you don't have that, why you're not successful.
I don't necessarily think that people are using it as an excuse. I think that now in our generation, like mental health information is becoming more accessible compared to years before, and we finally have the language to describe what it is that we're going through. So I think that more people are talking about it, and more people are able to acknowledge and recognize certain things that are going on mentally. I think that it's a little more outspoken about it, but I don't think that they're necessarily using it as a crutch. They just recognize, okay, maybe I might have this disorder, or maybe I might have this disability, and this is affecting the way I maneuver in the world, especially because we live in like a very capitalist society. I think that's what it is. I don't necessarily think it's an excuse. It's just we now have the language and the terminology to describe what the fuck is going on in our heads, whereas before, they didn't really have that kind of shit, because I don't think mental health was really prioritized.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I will also say that there's two types of people. It's like, okay, now I've gotten diagnosed. How can I make my life? How can I mold my life to make myself the most successful? And then there are people who do actually use it as a crutch.
It's like, oh, I have this, and this is why I'm not making it. Oh, I have this disability, this disorder, and this is why I can't function properly, and I'm not making it in life. Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, I got this. Now, how can I maneuver through it?
Or you have the ones who self-diagnose, which is a lot of people on social media.
Oh, Google.
Please don't get me started.
And when it comes to people self-diagnosing, I kind of do get like I get why people do it because as a 24-year-old that was recently just diagnosed with, well, ADHD 2 years ago, or even like autism like a year ago, that shit is fucking expensive. It's expensive to get diagnosed for autism or like any spectrum disorder. It's expensive as shit. So it's very fucking expensive. So I feel like people are taking these tests and stuff and just I don't know. They're just becoming more familiar with the terminology, and they're just excited they have the language to now understand like why they may be reacting the way they're reacting. Even though self-diagnosing, I would not. Yeah. I would not.
Don't go to Google.
I just understand why people do it because this shit is expensive and mental health resources are not accessible to everybody. No.
Don't let
Google be your doctor.
Okay.
You go crazy.
They get 12 different answers for some shit.
What? You'll get the most drastic answers for something so
that's
basic.
always the one that you listen and be like, oh my God, don't tell me I got that shit. Oh my God, you be bugging.
Don't diagnose yourself on TikTok. Like, please.
That's another one.
Yeah, TikTok.
I feel like people, your generation. I'm gonna act like an old man. They use TikTok for therapy now, but
Yeah.
it's a whole different discussion.
Definitely.
It's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
We can wrap it up.
Okay.
We'll close it out.
So when
when
y'all
she get back,
when y'all coming back?
Because
you're on a break
right now.
We supposed to start filming again in like March. Yeah,
All right, so make sure y'all tap in with them. We're gonna like I said before, we're like in the bar.
Man, for a minute we done talked about a
few
little bit of
things.
everything and a lot of one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Serious convos and whatnot.
It's been a good time. I appreciate y'all.
no problem. I like this was a very nuanced conversation. Like I feel like the other podcast that they're doing, like they just talk about what they want. I just don't like that because like I can talk about so many different things, and y'all want to talk about this one thing. Like,
So you had a great experience. What you telling me?
let's
go. Let's go.
y'all know how to ask questions and stuff like that. I've even picked up like different perspectives from all of y'all. So
That's what keeps it interesting. It's like you said, talking about one thing is like, okay, you can only say but so much about one thing.
You asked me pre-pod, like why I started pod. Why I started pod was the people I was influenced in, but why I stayed pod is that right there. Like what you said, like it's just like, just every time that we have people on, they always say little shit. Even if it's like you might not be like, oh, this might not have been the best pod that you've been on, but I still take like, all right, but it was a nuanced conversation. That's not a regular thing. I try to take something positive from everything that I can, whatever it is.
agree with somebody, it's like, oh, that's a new perspective. Like I get why somebody would think that way or feel that.
In the comment section, they'll shit, like I told you before, they'll shit on me. They'll be like, yo, you got this and that. But somebody one time, they was like, yo, homie in the, fuck, what that? He clowned me. He said, homie in the something. He was like, yo.
Homie in the purple hoodie.
Yeah, some shit like that. He was like, yo, he got to just speak a little slower. He got to think about what he's saying. Right. Like, damn. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I done brought this up before, because I'm like, damn, that shit really hit me, because I'm like, fuck, he right. Because then I'll watch it back, and I'm like, I'm talking too fast, but because I'm trying to be entertaining, so I'm like, I'm trying to go, I'm trying to get my shit, I'm trying to get jokes off, I'm trying to get my thoughts off, but whole time I'm not.
Very fast.
Yeah, whole time you can't even understand what I'm saying. Like, so when I do like the description to the episode or whatever, and it's like the shit can't even pick up what I'm saying half the time. It'd be like some crazy ass word that I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like German or some shit right now, like some whole other shit. Yeah, sometimes it do actually be solid shit. It be solid advice wrapped up in like bullshit or jokes or whatever, but it do actually be alright.
I take note of it.
But sometimes it be bullshit. Like I said at the beginning of this shit, like you just keep cooking, just keep doing y'all thing, and don't let people like knock you off y'all square. Y'all moving at a great pace. I've been doing this shit for 4 years. Like this like I said before, I didn't start with them. Like I started with a different cast, and this shit's been working. But I ain't giving up. So just keep cooking on that shit. Don't let nobody knock you off your shit. I know, but I really like we said, we appreciate y'all for pulling up, having this whole conversation with us. Please make sure to follow them. Like I said, I'm gonna put their pod name and their personal pages in the description. All that stuff is gonna be in the description too. Please make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Never Famous. This has been a great conversation. Thank y'all.
Peace.
Thank you.